It took us over a year to book this.
Hey there, Mam Fam. We are here at Walt Disney World at Disney's Contemporary Resort to attend the hardest to book dining reservation on property.
We are headed to Celebration at the Top, which is a fireworks viewing party at the signature restaurant, the California Grill. Why is this the hardest dining reservation to book, you ask? Well, it's only available on average 2 times a month. Sometimes as many as 4, sometimes it's not offered at all, so I've been trying well over a year to snag a spot.
So come with us and let's see if it's worth the hassle.
A little basic info here. The full name of this event is called Celebration at the Top, Sip, Savor, and Sparkle, and it's $149 per person plus tax and gratuity. Included with the cost is all you care to enjoy hors d'oeuvres, small plates, desserts, beverages, and adults. That does include alcohol up at the California Grill, as well as a private balcony to view the Magic Kingdom fireworks. Nice little bonus perk, valet parking is also included.
And a friendly reminder, while valet is included and will get validated, the tip for your driver is not. Be sure to tip those valets.
Now, because this is at the California Grill, which is the signature restaurant on the top of Disney's Contemporary Resort right next to Magic Kingdom, there is a dress code. No swimwear, athletic wear, hats. Basically, they tell you to be in alignment with a signature restaurant at a deluxe hotel. So, gentlemen, nice jeans, collared shirt tucked in, ladies, slacks, skirts, dresses, just a little zhuzhed, which I find fun in these kind of things because this is definitely a special occasion type experience. Also, want to shout out Mouse Dining for helping me book this reservation. This is not an ad. They're not paying me to say this. This is a product I've paid for years. On Mouse Dining, you can sign up for free alerts that come to your email for dining reservations you're trying to make, or for a couple dollars a month, they will send you text messages, and I have literally had this one on my alerts for over a year.
Now you will check in for this event at the second floor of Disney's Contemporary Resort at the California Grill desk an hour before fireworks are scheduled for that evening. Tonight, they are at 8:30, so we're checking in at 7:30, actually a little bit before. The bonus of checking in early, of course, that gives you a little bit more time to sample some of the delicious appetizers and maybe grab yourself an early beverage. Okay, we are all checked in. I picked up our wristbands as so beautifully demonstrated by Molly. We also had our parking validated for valet. By the way, this event is so rare. When we first parked, they were like, what do you mean the California Grill doesn't validate? But that's fair. This event is incredibly rare. So we're going to pop in line with the rest of our partygoers. Is that what we're going to call ourselves? Sure, partygoers, that works. And I'll also let you all know that we are not going to be recording live this evening. We don't want to disturb the experience for our fellow guests who have paid for this experience. So you're going to hear from future Molly and Alan about all of the delicious food and drink that we enjoy.
As a little update, it's 7:21 and they are starting to let us up in the elevator. So this is why you check in early, friends. Got to start eating and drinking as soon as possible. Upon arriving at the 15th floor of the Contemporary, we were directed to the 2 private ballrooms, the Napa and Sonoma room, and given a welcome Bellini, which was not my favorite. I didn't enjoy it past this one sip. However, I will never turn down a welcome beverage, and it was already poured. They also instructed us to pick up our family card and place it on our table so that it was reserved for us. Therefore, we could go back and forth to the bar and to the food stations without worrying about someone grabbing our table. The Napa and Sonoma room. Both of these featured Mary Blair-style art, and the seats were first come, first serve, so if you want the best seat with the view of the castle, make sure to check in early. We opted to sit in the quieter room with a beautiful view of Bay Lake, and let's be honest, we are closer to the food. Prior to picking up said food, though, we did go outside and check the private balcony reserved for the Celebration at the Top guests, and it's an absolutely stunning view of Magic Kingdom with the sun setting. Also could see Epcot. Definitely recommend spending a moment out there as the sun sets. We also went to the bar, and when I say it's open bar, I mean it's open bar. Not only can you choose from a selection of beer and California wine, which California Grill is known for. They have over 1,600 bottles of wine at the restaurant, and 80% of those are from California. But they also have a wide variety of spirits, and you can ask for any cocktail, including an espresso martini, margarita, or what Alan picked up, an old-fashioned.
Now, what I first was a very robust selection of food that was led by a tuna cone, red snapper ceviche, sushi featuring a tuna roll, California roll, and a vegetable roll, a delicious-looking pork taco, shrimp, a delightful-looking mini hamburger slider, the signature California Grill ravioli, chilaquiles, a nice flatbread, and some chicharrones. Now, one thing I want to say about the food is that cast members are constantly bringing out new and fresh food to replace what has been picked up. And I just have to say that the food is a good mix of things that are safe for kids or maybe your pickier eaters and things for your more adventurous eaters in your party. In fact, the guest behind us noted early on to the chef that she had a gluten allergy, and they were meticulous in helping her get food items that would meet her needs. This included bringing out a specially crafted dessert just for her. The first thing I sampled was the tuna cone. This was very clearly fresh tuna with a nice crunchy tone, which was a good texture contrast. And the cone itself was filled with a seaweed salad, which gave a little bit of a nutty flavor, and a wasabi mousse. Now, when you hear wasabi, you may think, wow, that's really spicy. It actually wasn't. It just gave a nice, rich flavor contrast.
For my first bite, I went for the cheeseburger slider, which was shockingly amazing. I didn't think it'd be one of my favorite bites of the evening, but it was. High quality ingredients, including a great patty, which was not at all dry, which can happen with a small patty that you're producing many of at the same time. The cheese was melty, the veg was fresh, and the sauce, which was called the California Grill Secret Sauce, basically a burger sauce, was excellent.
Next up, I tried the red snapper ceviche. This was incredibly citrus forward. The fish itself was fresh, paired with a nice fatty avocado, which helped contrast with the citrus very well. Fresh red onion for a little bit of snap, and some crispy onions on top.
I also tried the flatbread. This wasn't anything unique, but California Grill is known for their pizzas. Lots of smoky mozzarella cheese and fresh tomatoes. Wasn't my favorite thing, but it was classic food done well.
As I mentioned before, there were 3 sushi rolls on a plate. This was a tuna roll, so a standard tuna rolled in nori with seaweed rice and a slice of tuna inside. A California roll that was rice on the exterior, nori, and then on the inside you had crab with a K and some avocado. And then lastly, your veggie roll, which was nori on the outside, followed by sushi rice and a selection of vegetables inside. All of the fish was fresh. It was a pretty standard tuna roll, a good quality California roll, and the veggie roll was actually a nice surprise because of the crisp freshness of the peppers, and which added a nice grassy heat to the dish.
I also enjoyed the chilaquiles, which had pork, avocado, and a bunch of vegetables on them. The pork was moist, definitely house-made tortilla chips that stood up to the toppings, lots of avocado and brightness from some lime and herbs. This was fantastic and one of the most flavorful things I enjoyed.
The pork taco took me by surprise with how good it was. It was very moist pork, which was surprising given the amount of volume that they would have to be cooking, paired with a juicy grilled pineapple in between 2 pieces of pork. All of that on what tasted like a house-made corn tortilla. It was a light bite, but it was a big bite, and I certainly went back for more.
Now, I'm not always the biggest fan of cold shrimp, but this was fantastic. It was bright and fresh with this marinade made of peppers, herbs, and butter. Very, very tasty. Highly recommend if you're a shrimp fan.
And lastly, I sampled the chicharron, so this was some crispy pork skin with just a slight amount of barbecue sweetness on the exterior and a little bit of sweet heat. These were a nice snackable item.
But of course, nothing could top the beloved and famed goat cheese ravioli. This is a California Grill icon for a reason. It has a light umami flavor from the mushrooms, slight sweetness from the tomato, and a light, creamy goat cheese flavor. Plus, this is incredible because normally you're only served one as it's quite a large ravioli. However, at this experience, you can have as many as you can. And shout out to the cast member who gave me multiple on a plate. This made the experience worth it in of itself for me. And I do want to note that while you can go up to the bar, there were also amazing cast members here, not only picking up people's plates, but bringing waters, and they were bringing cocktails as well. So unsurprisingly, the signature level of service you expect at California Grill was on full display here. Now, partway through the dining experience, they moved one of the savory carts of food to the side. Don't worry, you could still access it, and brought out a dessert tray. This had a tropical tart, key lime and coconut pie, chocolate espresso cake, hazelnut mousse, and strawberry cheesecake.
I started my dessert feast off with the hazelnut mousse. This was a rich but light chocolate mousse paired with some honey roasted hazelnuts for a sweet and nutty toffee crunch. It was a nice texture contrast and it paired really well with the chocolate mousse, almost like a deconstructed Ferrero Rocher or deconstructed Nutella.
I started with the chocolate espresso cake, which sadly was not my favorite. It was a very good moist chocolate cake, very rich, but unfortunately not enough coffee flavor for me, a coffee enthusiast. However, if you're a chocolate fan, it's still worth a go.
My next dish was the tropical tart. This was very passion fruit forward, so if you are not a passion fruit fan, perhaps Savory, paired with mango and a blackberry on top. This was slightly tart with a bit of a sweet finish, and it certainly lived up to its name, full of all of those tropical flavors.
My personal favorite dessert was the strawberry cheesecake. It was an excellent classic cheesecake with a burst of chocolate or strawberry depending on the bite. Nothing super over the top or unique, but just a classic dessert done well.
Lastly, I had the key lime pie, and I thought that this was a pretty darn good key lime pie that was tart with that nice, very specific key lime flavor, a little butteriness there, with the crisp coolness of the coconut on top, paired with a graham cracker crust. This was all in all a great bite, and one that I certainly wanted more of.
Had a delicious dinner, and now it's time to go see the fireworks. Highly recommend refilling your drink before you go, and note that this back balcony here is just for the guests from Celebration at the top. You'll notice that one of the perks of California Grill, of course, is that you get to see the fireworks from here, and so those guests are over on the other balcony, but this one, just for us.
Every step we take brings a new hope, a new day. Only ever after. Blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. The story, the losses, and all the glory were changed by the way.
Every time.
Doesn't matter how many times you see it, that show bags.
It's pretty good. Listen, as a extreme fan of one Jordan Fisher,
Yeah.
that's an emotional gut punch right there.
Again, I've said it before, but whoever came up with blending the French horns and Go the Distance with Mufasa, Remember Who You Are, diabolical.
But, like, are you good? Because we're not.
Yeah, incredible show. Now, obviously the view up here is amazing. It is slightly different. It's off to the side a little bit, and you can't see the projections that you could see if you were standing in front of the castle.
Also, you're not going to have as good of a view of Tinkerbell flying as you would if you were on Main Street USA.
That said, it's wonderful to be up here. You've got a little bit of breeze. There's hardly anybody on this back patio for Celebration to the Top, so it's really nice to not be in the crowd and hustle and bustle of Main Street. So that's definitely one of the perks. I don't know if this is the way I'd want to see this fireworks show for the very first time ever.
Yeah.
But as far as views go, this is pretty excellent.
It's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat. And after the fireworks, all of the food, savory and sweet, was still available to enjoy for another 45 minutes or so. The bar was still open, as well as the servers were walking around taking coffee orders should you enjoy a cup, which of course we did.
All right, that was a very delicious experience. I quite enjoyed myself. A lot more food than I thought there would be. I don't know why I thought there would be less of a selection, but actually I kind of do. The other dessert parties.
Yes. And it didn't end until 9:30, which means the whole thing is 2 hours, which is a pretty good amount of time. It doesn't feel rushed. You have plenty of time to eat and drink and, of course, enjoy the fireworks in the middle. But yeah, speaking of the other dessert parties, there are a couple dessert party options inside Magic Kingdom. There is the pre or post party, where you either watch the fireworks from reserved viewing and then have a dessert party, or you have the dessert party first. We've done the post party video review if you want to check that out. That one will run you between $99 and $109 per person per adult, depending on the time of year. There's also a dessert party in Magic Kingdom where you sit the whole time at the Tomorrowland Terrace, which is kind of a catty corner view of Cinderella Castle, but you get to sit the whole time. That one is $119 to $129 per person, but the thing all of those have in common is it's largely desserts and kind of generic theme park desserts. They do have cheese cubes. They may have one other savory item, and they have limited selections of beer and wine, but for most people, you could not make that dinner, whereas this, this was absolutely dinner.
And I think that's really what sets this apart is that you just have so much more available to you here, not only in food, but also in beverage. That full open bar that is included, I mean, if you would like to imbibe, you have 2 hours in which to do so with full access. I'm not saying you should, but you can. But if you wanted to.
And again, you're eating California grill level food, which is a signature restaurant that a lot of people want to enjoy. And you're eating some of their signature dishes. They're known for pizza, they're known for sushi, they're known for that goat cheese ravioli, and all of that is a part of this event.
And I have never done this before, so I think that the quality of food that you got, the quality of drink that you got, and the quality of view that you had having seen Happily Ever After before really is unbeatable.
Now, obviously, you don't need to do a dessert party or a dinner party to enjoy Happily Ever After. I enjoy it just as much standing on Main Street, USA with a Mickey bar. But we often get asked for suggestions of things to do for special occasions, whether it be a graduation, a milestone birthday, honeymoon, anniversary, etc. And I think that this, especially for adults, especially for a little bit more of a foodie crowd, this is a wonderful kind of cherry on top special experience that you can book in Walt Disney World, if you could book it.
Yeah, if you are able to, be lucky enough to get it booked.
Yeah. Now, while it has been a while, this isn't our first video in this series. We've also done special experiences around Walt Disney World, including dinner on the Savannah at Animal Kingdom or the aforementioned dessert party in Magic Kingdom. So if there's other experiences like this you want to see reviewed, definitely let us know down in the comments.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video, subscribe if you are new, follow us on all of our socials, and come join us on Discord. We would love to have you there. The links for all that are going to be down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alan.
And it has been truly such a magical evening.
It has been.
Bye.
That cheeseburger.
That cheeseburger was so good, right? Like, it's no ravioli, but it's really, it blew me away.
Yeah, it can't be a ravioli, it's a cheeseburger. Different things.